All right, folks, we are about to get started with our award ceremony. We are at the tail end of our day today on day one of our Re-envisioning After School Conference. Again, my name's Thomas with the Alaska Afterschool Network. If you would please drop in the chat box just your program and what community you're from. It just, again, helps us build some community among us as we are all far-flung across the state. So this is our annual reception that we do every year at the conference. Normally this happens during lunch. So this year it's happening kind of at the tail end of our day. This is our chance to really elevate and raise the profession of out of school time and after school collectively and really advance ourselves as a profession. One of the ways we do this is by celebrating and recognizing an individual who's gone above and beyond to advocate for increased access and support for out of school time programs like after school summer programs, teen drop-in centers, native dance groups, culture camps, summer camps, public libraries, and a wide gamut of things that engage kids during out of school time. Our first award, before I jump into our awards, I want to just give a quick thank you to our two premier sponsors, which is the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation and the Resource Basket with Rural Cap. Thank you to them for helping to make today's event possible. Our first award that we're going to do is the Champion for After School Award. As I mentioned, this is an award for someone who's gone above and beyond the kind of typical call of duty that we all serve to expand access to out of school time. I'm going to turn it over to Julie Wildcurry with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District 21st Century Community Learning Centers to introduce our awardee.
Thank you, Thomas. It really is my privilege and honor today to introduce Dr. Karen Gaborik, who is our district's Superintendent of Schools and our Alaska Afterschool Champion this year. Karen is actually a homegrown Alaskan, and in particular here in Fairbanks. She began her educational career in our district in 1995 as a special education teacher. And it was in that position that she truly learned how deeply opportunity gaps can impact education, learning, school, and life success. She quickly moved into an assistant principal position at Lathrop High School in 2002. And then eventually the principal in 2007. Karen was a strong advocate for Lathrop being included in the first 21st Century Community Learning Center grant that was actually focused on high school and middle school programming. So in 2004, Lathrop was the first traditional high school in Alaska to receive this grant. And Karen took that leadership role at Lathrop to work with staff, students, families, along with many of her colleagues to build this program. And at the heart of that was creating a welcoming, safe environment. She had high expectations for the program and helped to hire Courtney Haverlick, who many of you know. And through that partnership, she really developed bringing in high quality teachers, staff, and partners to make better connections for our students who were struggling a little bit with connecting to school. When Karen was named Principal of the Year in 2011, her advocacy on the importance of after school and summer learning continued, but in a much larger context as she was able to reach out to her colleagues across the state and across our nation. In 2012, Karen became the Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools, and she continued within our district to advocate and support after-school funding with a variety of different ways of doing that, through grants, through hard dollar support, and through fees. She encouraged her administrative staff to step into programs to observe the best practices with social emotional learning, STEAM-based project learning, and the ever important family engagement. In 2014, Karen became our district superintendent. And during the last 6 years, Karen has prepared many leaders within our own district, as well as across the state and the country. And at the heart of that, it was about really embracing the relationships you develop with your students and families, as well as the colleagues that you work with. She is all about providing the best education, both in school and after school, along with summer learning. She values the continued human growth of our staff, our students, and she provides many opportunities for this growth. She has been a mentor to me as well as many others, and she always provides what is needed to keep our students at the forefront of decision-making. Karen, it's evident as we watch, you have your conversations not only with your colleagues, but mostly with our students, that you value everybody's feedback and input into the growth of everyone's development. In Alaska and across the nation, you have shared your voice to help others understand the importance of after school and summer learning. You see it as a way of providing equity to support our students and families. And we want to thank you for all of this work.
Excellent. And we're going to turn it over to Dr. Gaborik to share her thoughts on after school.
Well, thank you so much. I haven't even started yet, and I'm already feeling emotional. So thank you, Julie. Okay, so I have to show this beautiful trophy, which isn't going to quite show up on the screen but yes, thank you, Thomas, for sending this to me. It came last night, thanks to a special delivery by Julie, and it says 2020 Alaska Afterschool Champion Award. And Karen Gaborik, thank you for your outstanding dedication to the education and well-being of Alaska's youth. And then also this came today, just gorgeous. So that will be beautiful as we go into the holiday season. So thanks. You know, this is such a heart-touching award because the after-school programs, our after-school programs are heart programs. You walk into any learning center at any grade level in our district and you are immediately touched and I almost feel overwhelmed every time about what's happening in that room or in that school. And you see kids having the kind of learning and enrichment experiences that you want every single one of our students to have every day in every class. And it does happen every day in after-school program. And you also see the most dedicated, creative, and loving staff that you will find anywhere. And so it's just, again, such a heart experience. I also want to share some numbers too, and what our after-school programs in Fairbanks have accomplished over the years. They serve over 1,500 students district-wide. And as everybody knows who's involved in after-school programs, it's a really diverse group of kids. It includes Alaska Native students, English language learners, foster care students, students experiencing homelessness, migrant students, special education, and low-income students. And so, again, reaching kids that otherwise as a system, you know, we're not always able to reach as well as we could without the after-school program. Every superintendent, every school administrator, every teacher is always tasked, right, with improving student performance. My goal has always been to keep moving us into a paradigm of not just improving performance on tests, but growing kids to their full innate potential as human beings. And after school programs are key to helping our entire system here in Fairbanks not only improve academic performance, and they absolutely do that, but also to improve attendance, to improve students' engagement in their own learning and their own social emotional growth, and also to increase family engagement in the development of their own children. And we have such wonderful coordinators and staff at each of our learning centers and schools, and I can't name them all. I wish I could, because they're all just so wonderful and I can see their faces. And, you know, when I go visit, I often I love how you get hugs from after school people. I love that. And But I want each and every one of the after school coordinators and all of the ASP staff to know how much I deeply appreciate and value every single one of you in Fairbanks. You are all truly gifted educators. And I think that too often you are not recognized as such. And in my experience, some of the highest quality teaching and learning that I've seen in our district has been in our after school programs. And of course, they go way beyond academics, and they also include lots of fun things for students. And those are the, it's fun to, again, visit a program and be able to hop into some of these activities for a short period of time where they're learning to play sports or hip hop dance, learning Native Youth Olympics, robotics, music, baking, gardening, 3D printing, wood shop. And so again, it's just a testament to how our after school programs understand the importance of developing the entire student, the whole student. And I also just want to mention in Fairbanks, we have wonderful community partners. And again, I don't have a comprehensive list, I'm sure, but the University of Alaska Fairbanks, Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Boys and Girls Club, Fairbanks Arts Association, Fairbanks Children's Museum, and the Food Bank and more. So those partnerships help make the magic of learning come alive, both in the learning centers and in the classroom, but also out in the community for our kids. And then I have to, one of our programs in Fairbanks that's close to my heart is the EAST program. So it's our Elementary Academy of Science and Technology. And it's a full day program. It's 4 days a week, a month long in the summer in June. And, your first thought is like, okay, what kids are going to do that, right? In June, like 4 days a week, all month, all day, like, okay. Well, it's always full. I mean, it's amazing. It is always full. And I wish we could just replicate that program over and over and over across the district. And, I visited that program in the past, and there's a focus on inventing and discovering and exploring areas of student interest, which again, in our as we think differently about teaching and learning, that's become so important. And of course, the focus on science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And what's really, again, heartwarming and important to me is that we're giving some of our youngest students and some of our most at-risk students a kickstart in those STEM areas that will make a huge difference in their education as they progress, from those younger years clear through our system and then beyond. And all of our other summer programs, and I've been privileged to drive around with Julie and visit them in past years, pre-COVID. And, they all focus on critical thinking and collaboration and innovation and creativity and growing those strong brain connections for future learning. And I just have one memory that I was reflecting on this last night, and it's just clear as day to me. I went over to the EAST program a couple of years ago at Hunter, and of course, I was presented as the VIP visitor, right? They really did it up. And the most adorable, she was probably like a third grader girl, just this striking redhead, met me at the door, and she laid out the red carpet for me. And she spent an hour with me, and she was EAST's ambassador. And she took me through, I don't know how much this girl practiced, but she had it down, and she took me through every single little part of that program. She told me about what was going on, told me what the learning outcomes were, what was supposed to be happening there, and of course gave her opinion about whether or not she, cared for that particular activity or not. And she, again, she spent an hour with me and walked me through that program, and on her own, right? Like the staff were just doing their thing. And I thought, wow, okay, so not only is this program changing this kid's life, but she just had this experience, which was super personal for me, of probably doing something that, maybe she might not have had the opportunity to do otherwise. And I just thought, oh, she's got, again, right, just that moment, just such a jump start into skills that will just serve her so well in her education and her life later. So of course I dug into some of our evaluation data because, right, we're up federal programs, we're always held, we're always held to the data. And I was smiling again, because it's like, goal met, goal met, goal met, and on our last evaluation. And some of these are definitely worth mentioning. 50% of students in after-school programs in Fairbanks showed increased attendance, right? And oh my gosh, if they can come to school, then we can do so much with them. 50% of parents reported that their children were receiving more academic help, were completing their homework, were more motivated, and had a positive attitude about school. 75% of kids participating in the after-school programs in Fairbanks reported that they were doing better at school as a result of attending ASP. And then Julie mentioned it, and near and dear to my heart in Fairbanks is the high school program at Lathrop High School, and helping to be a part of kicking off that first high school after-school program. These are such important data points. 35% of the high school after school program students improved their GPA. And then this one is the kicker. 75% of students who signed up for credit recovery through ASP successfully completed the course. And if anybody pays any attention to the data, right? I mean, if a ninth grader even loses half a credit, they are at such risk for dropout. I mean, you have to wrap your arms around those ninth graders and make sure they get through the ninth grade successfully. And some kids struggle, right? The transition is challenging, and after school programs at Lathrop is right there to help them. And so that year, you know, it makes a difference in how that year goes for them. So, you know, again, that program is not just having a huge impact on our graduation rates, that's wonderful data too, but I mean, it is changing the trajectory, the life trajectory of those kids. And so again, so appreciative of that. I want to give two very special thank yous to two people who have been so personally impactful to me my entire administrative career. And it's also my privilege to call each one of them my friends, because when you do, this is where I'm going to get emotional, when you do really hard, rewarding work in the trenches with such amazing professionals, they often become part of your personal circle of love and support too. And so that is certainly true of these two people. And so first, Courtney Haverlick, just near and dear to my heart. She's the coordinator at Lathrop High School. Last year she was given a huge award, right? A huge award. She was named After School Ambassador, one of 15 leaders in the United States chosen for that honor. I can't think of a better person to have received that distinguished honor and to represent Alaska and after school programs nationally in that effort. And Courtney was right there in the trenches with me during my time at Lathrop. And again, I couldn't have had a better partner in learning and leadership than Courtney every single day. And then Julie, the director of the Fairbanks after school programs. And Julie is a magician. Julie works magic. And she just continues to amaze me with her brilliant skill set around collaboration and facilitation and coalition building. And she is able to do so much with the limited resources that we have in times of significant budget challenges. And she makes miracles happen for our district program wide. And Julie turns pennies into gold. And so thank you so much, Julie. And I just want to end, again, highlighting some of the ways that the true excellence of these two women and of all the after-school staff and all our after-school programs have manifested in our district. In every role that I've had in the Fairbanks district, you know, whether it's been teacher, school principal, superintendent, I personally thrive and I am at my best as an educator and a leader when I am in an environment where innovation isn't just tolerated or allowed to some degree, but where innovation is celebrated and valued. And that's where I do my best work. And it's when I can be on the cutting edge of exploring and creating and pushing myself in my own learning as a professional. And the interesting thing is that as I reflect on that, with every innovation that I've taken on in my administrative career in this district, the after schools program have been right there on the cutting edge with me. So freshman teams at Lathrop High School, I mean, absolutely, yes, we will be there, we will support that. Freshman ignition, those first years when we started at Lathrop, Courtney Haverlick says, like, we're all in, I'm all in, Karen, we've got this, we will help you take this to the next level. Smaller learning communities, Julie and Courtney and others, they just looked at me and were like, Karen, we've been doing that forever. And of course, after schools programs had been doing that forever. Smaller learning communities, that's what they are. That's what they're about. Professional learning communities. After school program staff in Fairbanks were among the very first adopters, and they immediately recognized the benefit of collaboration on behalf of student learning and improving educator practice. And after school programs have taken PLCs to levels that some schools in our district still have yet to experience. And then personalized learning, again, one of those we've got this moments. You know, this is who we are. This is what we do as after school programs. And not just was Karen, you know, out there sort of learning about personalized learning and so interested in what was going on. You know, again, that after school staff are like, yes, we've been researching this and trying out some of these practices and putting them to place in our learning centers too. So again, just a really great partnership. So it's with huge gratitude to the entire after-school program in our district and all the amazing after-school staff. Thank you for changing the lives of students through minds and through hearts. You make this district the high-quality place that it is for both kids and staff to learn and grow into their full potential. So I'm just so honored and grateful for award today. Thank you.
Everyone, please give a round of applause again to our 2020 After School Champion, Dr. Karen Gaborik. Thank you so much for your leadership in Fairbanks and around the state. Really just amazing the ability you have done for elevating the profession and really inspiring not just your workforce, but inspiring young people to keep pushing and striving for their best during out of school time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we are going to recognize some other outstanding individuals. So this is one of my absolute favorite things to do each year. We have each year there is After School Professionals Week. It's typically the last week in April. And during After School Professionals Week, we recognize 5 outstanding after school professionals who are working every day as superheroes, helping to inspire learning, keep kids safe, and support working families during out of school times. These 5 individuals are nominated. Anyone is welcome to nominate your peer, yourself, or a colleague. We'll have nominations open again in February. So this is really a chance for us to uplift each other as a profession. These 5 individuals then were selected by our committee to represent our state as our after-school superheroes. Our first one is no stranger to this conference whatsoever, is Billy Smith. Billy Smith is with the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District as a 21st Century Community Learning Center Director. If you have not gotten a chance to meet Billy, you need to. He is an outstanding individual who really just is one of the most welcoming people in the world. And also by far the best dressed after school professional in Alaska. I think he's even wearing his suit today from his Zoom at home. So, you know, again, kudos, Billy, for all your years of service, both in 21st Century and your other roles as well with sports and recreations as well. Thank you. Our next superhero, this is Pauline. She is a staff member at Nunaka Valley Campfire here in Anchorage. Pauline is a staff member with Campfire, and I'm not sure if Pauline was able to join us. One of the most amazing things that we find out about with After School Professionals Week is how far above and beyond folks have gone. So Pauline actually was providing a snack during her morning program, and one of her students actually started to choke during the program and had a blocked airway. She was able to calmly jump in, perform the life-saving maneuver to clear the student's airway, was able to keep the student calm, manage the learning environment, and help ensure that student's safety. So kudos, Pauline, for really being truly a superhero for young people. Our next she is typically the coordinator of University Park's elementary after-school program. She's currently transitioned to in-school support right now during COVID. Wendy is just really one of those people who goes above and beyond, ensure that the enrichment activity is not just simply, you know, checking in on homework or supporting tutoring, but really going above and beyond to make sure that that young person knows that there's an adult here that cares about them and is connected to them. So kudos to Wendy. Oop, went one too far. Is Carla. Carla's with the Peak program down in Sitka. Carla has literally mentored generations of Sitkan youth. She has been the founder of the Venture program, which was our licensed school-age childcare program, and then went to create the Sitka Peaks program as well. She's an active member of our STEM committee and has really been someone that we routinely rely on to help ensure that we're advancing our STEM quality for rural students across Alaska. I will say as well, Carla is a great earthquake buddy of mine as well from the 2018 earthquake. So I always appreciate someone who's willing to go the extra mile during a quake. And our last recipient is Chung. Chung is a site director for Campfire Alaska here in Anchorage. He has really taken on the challenge of ensuring that kids feel safe and belonging inside of his programs. He routinely is developing additional activities and curriculums that push and challenge young people to develop their leadership skills and opportunities to thrive inside of their programs. So would love if everyone would please give a virtual round of applause again for our 5 after-school professional superheroes. All right. We have a few reminders, and then we're going to get to the thing that I know so many of you are tuned in for, which is our first door prize drawings. If you have not yet, you can go ahead and complete your conference evaluation for each of the workshops. We know there was some confusion. If you're clicking on an evaluation that has a drop-down menu, you're on the wrong evaluation. Unfortunately, the wrong link got posted. So in the chat box, I think we have the correct evaluation. While there isn't an evaluation for our award ceremony, we are encouraging during this time, please help us ensure greater relevance for our field by completing that demographic survey. That demographic survey really allows us to know who is attending our conference, what are better ways that we can broaden the diversity inside of our field, inside of our learning environment, and ensure that it's relevant to those who are attending. So if you haven't yet, please take the time and complete that. For those who are having challenge with the evaluation, if you refresh your browser, you should be able to get to the right link. We have it all squared away for tomorrow. Our event forum, please make sure again you are adding, commenting resources, starting your own event post, or asking questions. This is a great chance for us to network and collaborate. The event forum will be up for the next 2 weeks, even after the conference. So it's a chance to, again, to keep yourself engaged and connected. Our exhibitor hall is live and open. Again, this is a great way of finding out both state resources and national resources that are available to you as after-school providers. And we do want to encourage you, Friday, stick around for our 1:30 to 2 o'clock networking session. We know one of the most impactful parts of our conference is those relationships you're able to make with folks by bumping into the hallway with them, you know, having a glass of wine with them during our typical reception or chatting after a workshop. This is a chance for you to get that experience. We're going to have 10 breakout rooms for you to be able to choose your own breakout room to go into, to get a chance to engage with your peers, to share resources, and to learn more about different topics. Without any further ado, I do not want to stand between you and door prizes. We are going to pull on, I'm going to move my screen over here. If folks can give me a thumbs up if you can see our wheel of prizes. All right. So our wheel of prizes, this is based off of our first entries. So we are going to draw our 2 first prizes, which are 2 keynote evaluations. We need a little more time to get the workshop session evaluation prizes to you. We'll have those posted tomorrow for all of you to see inside of the discussion board. We are going to give, I feel like, you know, if we all took ourselves off mute, we would give a wheel of prizes chant. But we are going to go ahead and spin our wheel. $50 gift card to STEMfinity. It is a STEM resource a center for you to be able to go and purchase supplies for your program. And close that one down, and we have our next wheel of prizes. So this is from our workshop that just happened. Really fantastic workshop. I mean, my social media brain is like blown by that one. So much more I have to learn on this topic. We are going to give our wheel of prizes. Let's next big spin. Second winner, you also are winning that $50 gift certificate to STEMfinity to be able to purchase supplies for your program. Ladies and gentlemen, we are right at 2 o'clock. We again want to thank you for joining us. We start tomorrow morning bright and early, 9 o'clock, with our next keynote speaker. Our next keynote speaker is Linda Chamberlain. She is a phenomenal research and expert on the human brain, and particularly the impacts on adolescent brain and adverse childhood experiences. Please tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. We'll see you in our general keynote session, and we'll head into our breakout rooms after that. Thank you all and have a safe and wonderful night.